Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya.
Rama 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 Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumararpanastu. The volume is not enough right now. The code. We have offered the Nama lotuses at the holy feet of Bhagwan, thanking him profusely for this great blessing. Now today we shall see one more glimpse of the way the grace works, how it helps, it comes to the rescue of the devotees in times of acute need. Very touching story. Which speaks well of the glory of Bhagwan. Everybody knows Srimati Tilakavati Rajashekar and Dr. Rajashekar. Dr. Rajashekar was a dentist in Madurai. Their son, Kumaravel, is running an ashram there, Bhajan ashram in Shivkasi. His wife is Aishwarya. Now the story that's going to unfold happened way back in 95, several years back, but it is still fresh in the minds of those people who were involved, very devoted devotees of Bhagwan. been coming to Bhagwan for several years now. And in 1995, Kumaravel's wife, Aishwarya, was pregnant with her second child. Everything was going on well. Nobody even suspected that anything was going to change. This is how sometimes fate takes over. Bhagwan used to say that one should keep on chanting the name of God. One should keep on remembering and appealing to the mercy of God. And whenever one forgets, that is the time the negative forces, which are waiting around for an opportunity to enter, would do their play. As everything was going on smooth, one day Kumaravel and Aishwarya wanted to go out. So they came out of the house and Kumaravel took the bike in the reverse. Unfortunately, it hit the knee, the right side knee of Aishwarya. Of course, it began to pain terribly, but then they dismissed the whole thing, thinking that it was because of the hit, that the pain would come down soon. So the next 3 months, 3 full months, they have been thinking so and applying. Aishwarya was only applying oil after oil. And then, of course, this hot water fermentation, hoping that the swelling would go away and the pain would reduce. But what happened was the reverse. The swelling increased, and so did the pain, that it became unbearable at one point. They did consult a relative who was a doctor, and the doctor also took it lightly and said it could be only because of the hit, because there was nothing of this kind before, and the pain started only after the hit. So it's okay, let us try it. But then 3 months had passed away and the pain only had increased. Now they had to reconsider everything. Now this time the doctor said, let's get an X-ray done. And that's how the whole thing started. The X-ray revealed a tumor inside the bone, in the knee. And the doctors found out it was this that caused all the pain and the swelling. Now what a shock it is to the people. She was pregnant, she was already pregnant, and almost 6 months, 5 to 6 months were gone already. Now at this juncture, that she should get this problem would have been difficult for anybody to digest. And then, of course, her mother, Aishwarya's mother, and Aishwarya, they went over to Chennai to show a famous orthopedic surgeon. They consulted, and then the doctor said immediate operation is necessary. He said the bone has been eaten up inside so much it wouldn't last anymore, and it's better that they do this knee replacement operation. Now that was a greater shock to these people. Just imagine Aishwarya's state of mind. She was only 22 years at the time, a very good-looking girl, entered her married life with dreams and hopes, and suddenly the fate began to play havoc. And again, this was a great shock to her, and what was more, one more shock was waiting. The doctor said, when we do this operation, it would affect the baby inside. Something would happen to the baby, so they had to abort it. Now, as soon as she heard it, Aishwarya, she immediately said, I don't want any operation, nor do we need to abort anything. The child was already 6 months inside. Her mother's heart would not approve, would not even think of such a thing. So she flatly said, no, I wouldn't go through this operation. Now, everything had come to a state where they did not know how to proceed further. They had gone all the way for the operation, but the doctor made a condition. Now that was disagreeable. Now they did not know what to do. It was at that time Uma Surendra, Srimati Tilakavati Rajashekar, Tilakavati's sister from Shivakasi, she said, you people please inform Swamiji in Tiruvannamalai. Of course, immediately. In fact, as soon as she heard, Tilakavati heard about it after the X-ray, that she had developed a tumor, cancerous tumor, she rushed to Tiruvannamalai and tried her best. She would put her hand on the knee of Aishwarya and chant and chant and chant Bhagwan's name. Probably because of that they immediately took the step to go to Chennai to consult a doctor, and the doctor said an operation was important immediately, and the other things followed. Now, when they rang up to Sri Mani, who was the trustee of the ashram at the time, he was informed, and immediately, at the time Bhagwan was giving darshan in the tiny hall. Sri Mani immediately rushed to Bhagwan, conveyed all the details. Now Bhagwan was asking about this cancer and where it was. Sri Mani said it was on the right side, the right knee. And that the doctor said it was inevitable, the operation. Then Bhagwan became pensive. At the time, I was telling Bhagwan, it should be benign tumor, not malignant. If it was malignant, everybody knows cancer is a killer disease. The end would be inevitable. So I was telling Bhagwan that let this be benign. Bhagwan did not say anything. He became very thoughtful, and soon after that he started to stroke his right knee several times. When the darshan was over, Bhagwan got up to get down from the dais to go to Sudama. At the time, something happened to his right knee where he was stroking. The knee gave in. With the result, Bhagwan leaned heavily on one side and fell down. Now, there were rumors in the ashram that Bhagwan had fallen down and therefore there might not be darshan for the next 3 days. At this juncture, not knowing anything about it, Dr. Rajashekar and Tilakavati decided to come to the ashram and put forth everything before Bhagwan, for Bhagwan to decide what to do. So when they came and they arrived, all that they were told was by Srimati Rajeshwari Amma that Bhagwan had fallen down and then he might not come to the ashram for the next 3 days. What a shock it must have been to those people. One more shock. By this time they must have been getting used to shocks coming their way one after the other and so fast. Now again they were at a loss to know what to do. But then Karunamurti, the embodiment of grace, the embodiment of kindness, that was Bhagwan, he came the very next day morning and he proceeded straight to the breakfast hut as usual. And then he came to know that Dr. Rajashekar and Tilakavati had come. Immediately he called them to the breakfast hut. And then he learnt all the details about Aishwarya being in Chennai for the operation, and she would not agree to the operation because of the doctor's proposal for abortion. Immediately, you know what Bhagwan said? Bhagwan said loudly, Tilakavati is a friend of Lord Sundareshwara. Lord Sundareshwara will surely help her. She has nothing to worry. They were like nectar drops, a nectar shower upon Tilakavati and Dr. Rajashekar. They had come all the way and waited only to hear this. There was no need for operation. What an assurance! Who could give it except God? They were simply overwhelmed, both of them. And then they rushed back to Madurai and from Madurai to Chennai to inform Aishwarya and her mother. Swami has said there's no need for operation. What a relief for Aishwarya. Just think, the mind has many private helps to go through in life. Any mind. Now, right from the time the knee pain started, it had been one hell after the other for Aishwarya, little Aishwarya. She was only 22. Now this came as such a relief to her. And of course the doctor there, the only choice left to him now was to put on a cast, probably a splint, and then he tied it up. He bandaged it very tight so that no movement will be caused, because any movement at that point was very painful for her. So he put on the cast in such a way that there would be very little movement or no movement at all. And that's how Aishwarya now returned with relative peace, because the pain continued. She came and stayed at home for only 2 weeks. 2 weeks, everything seemed to go on smoothly. And then one day, she just got up from her seat, forgetting that it was bandaged and she had a problem. She just put her foot, as usual, on the floor. Immediately, something happened and she fell down. The knee gave in. You see, the cancerous germs had eaten up the bone inside so much, only a thin edge of it was left behind. No wonder as soon as she made a move to put her foot down, it happened, she fell down and the bone broke. Now again another emergency. They had to act immediately. They called the ambulance and they took her to Dr. Devdas in Madurai. She got admitted there and they were getting ready for the operation. Of course, this time this doctor did not say anything about the child. He simply said, I have to do this operation. He said the bone was already in a very pathetic condition. A new bone had to be put there in the place. So they took a bone from the thigh and set it up there with some iron rods and nuts so that the bone would be held in position. Now when the operation was going on inside, outside the operation theatre, Dr. Rajashekar, Tilakavati, Kumar, all of them were chanting Yogi Ramsuratkumar Nama frantically, desperately. There were two doctors outside and one of them was telling the other in their hearing that probably the whole leg may have to be amputated. What a shock. What a thing to say when the operation was going on and for a doctor at that. And there was another lady doctor with him who said, since she has cancer, this might have spread all over her body by then. It had already eaten up that bone there, so it would have started to spread and it might have gone all over the body. What a frightening thing to say, and for a doctor at that. Why would people do this? Tilakavati was taken aback. Now her desperation increased. But what else they could do except, of course they had informed Bhagwan about this emergency, that the emergency operation that is to be done on her. They had given all their details, including the time the operation started, everything. So their only hope is now Bhagwan. The Nama chanting was going on by the entire family in desperation. In any case, nothing of the sort that the doctors said in front of her outside the operation theatre happened. Aishwarya was taken back to Shivakasi. Now, the doctor said only one thing: she could no more fold her leg because he had put the bone from the thigh, and to hold it tight, he had put iron rods all around, which meant that she could not fold the leg at all. That was okay with them because they had expected something else. They had expected worse. So now, when she went back to Shivakasi, she had to be bedridden. And just imagine her condition. She was already pregnant, and I think probably 6.5 months or 7 months over. And she could not turn this side or that side. She had to stay put in the same posture all the time with a stretched leg. What a hell it should have been for the girl, young girl, who was also carrying a baby. We do not know why such things happen in life, but everybody has their cross to carry, so to say. So this was her moment. Uncomplainingly, she went through this hell all the time, trusting Bhagwan. You see, at the time, she was not very familiar with Bhagwan or his ways. She was not exactly devoted to Bhagwan also because she didn't know much about him. She had come into the family only some probably 3 or 4 years before. In any case, now she had learned to chant Bhagwan's Nama, and she stayed put in the bed. And imagine the pain that Kumar had to go through. He had to look after a pregnant wife who was bedridden, and then the delivery was also there, of course, in the month of April. I think it was 1st April that Kayalvi was born to Aishwarya by cesarean operation. Now Kumar had one more difficulty. Now not only he had to look after his wife, but also the newborn baby. Of course, in the meantime, they had sent for biopsy, and the result came to say that there was no cancer. Just imagine, again, let's put ourselves in the place of these people. What a relief it must have been. Of course, they were overwhelmed by the grace of Bhagwan. Now, when Kumar visited his parents in Madurai, naturally his face was drawn. He was very, very tired, very distressed, and probably was going through depression. Looking at him, Dr. Rajashekar and Tilakavati could not bear it anymore. So they decided to come to Tiruvannamalai and inform Bhagwan all that happened. So when they rushed, when they arrived at the ashram by an auto, when they were just getting down from the auto at the gate, it was morning. Bhagwan had finished his breakfast hut and was moving out. His car was coming near Yagashala when somebody said that Tilakavati and Dr. Rajashekar had come. Immediately he stopped the car and sent the driver Ravi to inform, asking them to come inside. Bhagwan, as soon as they came near, Bhagwan laughed so much and said, "Oh, Devaki, our problem, Dr. Rajashekar has come to solve our problem. Dr. Rajashekar has come to solve our problem." And then he laughed. The problem was, only 2 days before, Vijayalakshmi Amma had developed toothache. It became very severe and had to be attended to by a doctor. But then Bhagwan said, no other doctor except Dr. Rajashekar. This beggar has faith only in Dr. Rajashekar. So we shall see when he comes. So now, just Bhagwan thought of Dr. Rajashekar, it struck them to come to Tiruvannamalai, and here they were. And Bhagwan was saying that Dr. Rajashekar had come to solve our problem, when in fact Dr. Rajashekar had come seeking a solution for their problem. It was the way Bhagwan always spoke. Only indirectly hinting at things. Of course, after that, we came to Sudama, and soon after about 10 o'clock we would come back to our ashram. And of course, Bhagwan came and became very busy with the construction work of the Pradhan Mandir. So he was seated outside the Pradhan Mandir. And Vijayalakshmi Ma had come with us, and Dr. Rajashekar became busy attending. And after he settled everything for her, Bhagwan called both of them. Listened to all the details that Aishwarya was going through, and Kumar. Now you know what Bhagwan said? Tilkavati, Dr. Rajashekar, do not worry about Aishwarya. Please do not worry about Aishwarya. She will be 100% normal. This was the declaration done by Bhagwan, much to the relief of the parents-in-law. Now, they went there to pass on the happy news that she would be 100% normal. Again, after so many shocks, one after the other, and so much of suffering that followed despite the protection of Bhagwan. See, that is what we have to see. I have been saying, when a bad karma begins to play up, it happens that sometimes after we take refuge at the holy feet of a great master, they would remove 75% of it. But we have to go through at least the tail end. But sometimes the tail end itself proves to be too much for us, that we scream. We are unable to bear. So even after the blessings from Bhagwan, there was so much suffering that both Kumar and Aishwarya had to go through, and the newborn baby. But Bhagwan's words came true. After some time, she became well. She began to slowly walk. And except for that one defect that she cannot fold, which of course happens to many people nowadays because of arthritis or something. People develop knee pain, and many people, even youngsters, cannot sit down. They sit chairs. Aishwarya was able to pick up health, a healthy attitude as well. And today she is a very devoted sevak of Bhagwan. Her husband Kumar is running Bhajanashram with a beautiful murti of Bhagwan there. And it is Aishwarya who is looking after Bhagwan there, just as a mother would look after, with such love and tenderness. Bhagwan's murti, right from early morning, getting up and cleaning Bhagwan, and then decorating him, cooking his food, the offering, and cleaning up the whole place. Everything is being done with such dedication and love by Aishwarya herself. She wouldn't leave single detail for anyone else to do. Her whole life is now devoted to Bhagwan, dedicated to Bhagwan's seva. So true to Bhagwan's declaration, Aishwarya will be 100% normal. Today Aishwarya is 100% normal. I do not know whether we are all normal, because from the divine point of view, normalcy is the seva to God. God has given us this body and put life in it. Why? Only to indulge in pleasures, eat, make merry, sleep, multiply? God has given us this sophisticated body and life in it. He has put the breath in it, and He is sustaining it. Why would He do so? For us to worship Him, to remember Him. Remembering God is the only goal of life. There is no other goal. Every other goal is man-made. And remembering God's name is living in God and doing seva to God or Gurudev. Gurudev is none other than God Himself, come in that form just to uplift us. So those who are devoted to Guru Bhagwan, engaged in his seva all the time, they are serving the purpose of life. They are the normal people in the eyes of the divine. People have forgotten God, people who say very happily and proudly, there is no God, we have no faith in. We have no faith in all those rituals. We have no faith in singing the name of God, this and that. God would create a situation in their life and reduce them to utter helplessness. And that is when they will know that God is their only source of solace. And that is when they would start realizing how necessary it is to live, remember God. Until then, people who don't care for God or His worship, they are subnormal in the eyes of the divine. Because repeatedly, all the great masters, all the great rishis of the ancient times, they have been declaring time after time that the only purpose of life is God. We have not created this body, nor have we put life in our body. But for life, our brain would not work at all. Our eyes cannot see, ears cannot hear, we cannot move. All these are happening because of the life breath. And who put the life breath? We are not even aware we are breathing. In sleep, the breathing is going on. When we are unconscious, still the breathing is going on. When we get completely absorbed in work or in reading, we are not breathing. The breathing is going on naturally with such rhythm and precision. Who is sustaining it in the body? Who is running the circulation of blood inside the body? There are no answers for this if you don't believe in God. So, we have to be cent% normal, which means remember God at least as much as we can and do seva to God in some way or the other. Now this Bhagwan, who saved her in the first place from a malignant cancer and then saved her from the abortion, and later who made her cent% normal. Now that Bhagwan is here right in front of us. We should remember his declaration. Tilkavati is a friend of Lord Sundareshwara. Sundareshwara will surely help. So you see, it is the Shakti of Bhakti. Tilkavati Amma is so devoted to Bhagwan that many times, whenever she came, Bhagwan would insist upon her relating some leela or the other of Sundareshwara and would declare now and then that all the 64 leelas of Sundareshwara are my leela, my leela Tilkavati. They are my Leelas. So to Tilakarati Rajashekar, it is Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagwan, who is Lord Chandraeshwara there in Madurai, but she continues her Shiva worship. Now to this Bhagwan, we shall offer our today's prayer. Bhagwan, we beg you, like every day, 1,000,000 times, for your immediate divine intervention to free the entire world in general and India in particular from the clutches of this dreadful virus and bring back normalcy in every aspect of life. And Bhagwan, kindly uproot the panic from the hearts of people, stop the spread of the disease, enter those medicines so that they could kill the entire crowd of the viruses, and please reach out to all those people in state of distress for lack of treatment or facilities, so that they get what they need and get well soon and come back home safe. And all those brave, great warriors who are fighting the disease at the very risk of their lives, please give them protection and all-round welfare. We also beg you for a lift to economy, and above all, as you said, 100% normal. We want to be 100% engaged in the remembrance of your name and in the seva as a fitting instrument in your hands. Bhagwan, we seek that supreme blessing from you by which our purification would be complete, so that we could see only your presence and your blessings in every aspect of life, in every happening of life. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar.